Happy Tuesday, everyone. I hope you can hear me okay. My neighbor is out pressure washing their deck. I'll re-record if it is really bad. Today is all about transportation, one of our favorite topics that we've gone over in a lot of our classes already, but the kids certainly cannot get enough, so I can't wait to share this book with you. This book is called You Can Name 100 Cars, Trains, Boats, and Planes. And thank you to Scholastic for allowing us to read all of these books legally without any copyright infringement. This book is illustrated by Randy Chewning. It's a very old book, as you can see, one of my kids' favorites. So I'm going to read the text and then we're going to scan out and see what we can find. Many boats and ships are using the busy harbor. A tugboat is hauling a barge. A container ship brings in cargo. Trains pick up the cargo and carry it to towns far away. People can drive onto the ferry boat in their cars. Can you find the vehicle that flies? All right, so we're all going to look together and we're going to scan and look at all these things. There's a submarine. Can it fly? No. There's a freight train up there, container cars, a fireboat, a dory, not like the fish. Did you know that a boat like that is called a dory? Now you do. There's a schooner and a container ship and a tugboat, and it's tugging a barge full of containers. I wonder what's inside there. There's a hovercraft. Look at this big, huge boat. It's called a tanker. There's a trawler, and hydrofoil passenger boat, a sailboat, a ferry boat. Have you been on a ferry boat? I have. When I visited Seattle one time, I went on a ferry boat. It was very fun. If you ever go back to Seattle at some point, you should ask your grown-ups to take you on a ferry boat. There's a racing hydroplane, a seaplane. Hey, do you think a seaplane? Do you think that might be a vehicle that flies? Let's take a closer look. Well, planes can fly, right? Look at that. That's so cool. So that seaplane can land in the water and also take off from the water, so it doesn't need a runway. So that's it. We found it. We found the vehicle that flies. What else is there? There's a police boat and a speedboat too. So many different kind of boats in the harbor. Let's see where we're going next. The great outdoors. There are many fun ways to travel outdoors. Dune buggies have big tires for driving on sand. Rowboats are perfect for fishing. Up in the sky, the wind helps a hang glider fly. How many of these vehicles have you had a ride in? Wow. I don't know how many you've had a ride in, but I don't think I've ridden in that many. But let's see what we have. I'm going to start with a pickup truck, a station wagon, a runabout, a hang glider. Whoa, that looks pretty cool. A dune buggy, a small fishing boat right there, a little jet ski. Look at this. This is a high-speed passenger train. We've got a sailboat, a ski boat. See, he's got a little skier hanging off the back, holding on tight. A catamaran. My dad has a catamaran, so I know how to sail one of these all by myself, which is pretty cool. Then there's an inflatable boat. These are really good for camping and fishing too sometimes. A rowing hull, kind of like a really long kayak, right? A sport utility vehicle. Some of you may have some of these. An SUV, they might call them. A lot of your moms and dads have those. Here's a canoe. Here's a recreational vehicle. You might know it as an RV or a motorhome. There's a river raft right there, a glider, a crop duster, Right up here, there's a firefighting helicopter. You see that? It's dropping down. This stuff, it's kind of like a powder, and it helps put out the fires from way high up in the air. It can also use water too, so if they run out of powder, they can do water. So they can just dip into a lake or an ocean, which is pretty fun. There's a convertible car and a houseboat. I used to go on houseboat vacations when I was growing up, and they were really, really fun. Anyway, hopefully you've been on some of these, because they're pretty fun. Where should we go next? What do we think? Let's see. Oh, here we are in the train yard. Today, the train yard is very busy. Switcher engines move boxcars. Freight trains loaded with cargo are leaving for towns all over the country. A passenger train has come in for repairs. Can you find the old-fashioned steam engine? Okay, so we have our seeing eyes on, friends. We are going to find that old-fashioned steam engine. When we get to it, yell, stop, okay? Can you do that? I know you can. Start over here. This is an automobile car. See, look at that. Carries all of those cars in one little train. A high-speed train. Hopper cars. What's the back of the train called? What do we call that in our classrooms when we line up? The caboose. That's right. Yes, the person in the back is the caboose. We've got a trolley car right here. See, there's a line up in the, it's like a wire that helps give the trolley car electricity to help make it go up in the sky above it. These are hopper ore cars and box cars. And a switcher engine. Switcher engines are really cool because they can go different ways. And, oh, what is this? This is the old-fashioned steam engine. Is that what we're looking for? Did you yell stop? If you forgot, you can yell it now. What is this? The old-fashioned steam engine. Stop! We found it! Wonderful job. Good seeing eyes and good listening ears. Up here we have a streamlined steam engine, flat car, passenger car, guardrail gondolas. That's pretty cool. Look at this long freight train. We have a lot of these around here where we live, huh? Very long. Refrigerator cars are nice and cold. They're a good way to get us our food and keep it fresh while it's in transport. And this is a passenger train. This is kind of like an Amtrak. They've got cozy seats inside, make it a little more comfortable. A tank car has liquids, so sometimes it can have gas in it, sometimes it can have water, all sorts of good stuff in there. And these are piggyback cars. Let's see where we're going next. The racetrack. Vroom, vroom. The racetrack is a noisy place. Some race cars, like the Formula One, go as fast as 200 miles per hour. You know what? That's probably a little low. They probably go faster now. This book is very, very old. Race car drivers always wear safety helmets, fire-resistant clothing, and face masks. Which is your favorite race car? So I'm just going to go through and show you all these cars, and when you see one that you think is super, super awesome, you go ahead and give it a point, okay? Look at all this. There's rescue helicopters, an ambulance, Formula One racers, demolition derby. Look at these cool vintage racing cars. There's all sorts of really cool cars on here. Look at, they even have a blimp up in the sky. Very cool. The hot rods are my kids' favorite. They always like that one. The big city is where we are now. In the city, horns are honking and sirens are wailing. A limousine brings people to a fancy restaurant. The subway glides through underground tunnels. Taxis take people to and from the airport and everywhere in between. Do you see the ambulance rushing to the hospital? Okay, so once again, we're going to put those seeing eyes on, and we're going to find that ambulance that might be going to the hospital, okay? But look at all these other cool cars while we're waiting. A mail truck. They're still out working. You can still see Mr. Mail Truck every day. A limousine. Ooh, that's a very, very fancy car. See how long it is? You can put a lot of people inside, and sometimes they even have special treats and snacks inside for you. So very fancy, very special to ride in a limousine. Maybe some of you will get to do it when you're older if you haven't done it already. Here's a cool police car. Where's Mr. Finn? I bet you he can make a good police car sound right now. A minivan. I bet you, I have one of those, so I bet you a lot of your grown-ups have one of those too. Helps me get all of my kids and my dog and my husband to where we need to go sometimes. Does anybody see that ambulance? Anywhere, anywhere? You do? I see it too now. There it is. It's rushing right there. Always working to try and keep everyone safe, ambulance driver. Okay? Look at the cool helicopter. Awesome. Here's a little electric car. That's super good for the environment. You plug it in. Doesn't take any gas. You plug it in and then you can go. Pretty fancy. All right. The air show. This is the last place we're going to visit today because the book is over after this. At the air show, you can see rocket planes and old-fashioned racing planes flying overhead. Jet stunt planes fly very fast and very, very close to each other. They all change position at the same time. Have you ever flown in a plane? Have any of you guys ever flown in a plane? I've flown in a plane to a few places, not lately, but in the past couple years since we've lived up here. I originally was born in California. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. But I've lived in Washington now for about 5 years, and I love it. But we do go back and visit every once in a while. I also used to be a flight attendant for a little bit, so I flew lots of different places when I was a flight attendant. A flight attendant is the person who, when you're in the airplane, gives you your drinks and your snacks if they're serving any, and your meal if they're serving any, and make sure that you're safe in general. Always remember to listen to your flight attendant, okay? Your pilots too. They're there to keep you safe. Let's take a look. These are some pretty cool planes. Here's a vintage racing plane. Look at this rocket plane. That's kind of cool. So these are the stunt planes that they were talking about. See, they fly so close together. It's very dangerous, but it looks really, 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 really cool when they're all together. Same with these up here. See, look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all together. And they have these cool jet streams coming out of the back of them. Makes really pretty writing in the sky. This is normally what we fly in if we fly, right? If we go anywhere, we usually are in a jumbo jet. Can hold a lot of people and get us all to where we need to go, as safe as can be. Pretty cool. What was your favorite plane? Look at that spy plane. It's pretty neat too. Very nice. All right, friends. Hope you're enjoying your Tuesday. Once again, I hope you're being kind to your grown-ups in charge of you. We miss you, and we will see you all soon.